Welcome back to the Expert's Edge. As a born and bred city slicker, I never thought I'd willingly spend a weekend in a town whose population could fit inside a high school gym. But after crisscrossing this great nation of ours, I've discovered that some of America's most charming spots are its teensiest burgs. We're talking places so small, you can meet the entire population before happy hour. In this video, I'll reveal my top 5 very small town discoveries, hidden gems where life moves at a blissfully slow pace, and neighbors greet you by name, because they definitely know who you are. After watching, you too may be tempted to trade your urban jungle for a tiny town paradise. Just be sure to pack patience along with your bags, since things happen molasses slow when you live life in the extra small lane. Let's start with a quaint historic town nestled in the mountains, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. When I first rolled into Harpers Ferry, I have to admit I was skeptical. The place seemed too picturesque to be real, like something out of a Thomas Kincaid painting. But 300 quirky souls do indeed call this living postcard home, and they've got the "we're not in Kansas anymore" expressions to prove it. Harpers Ferry has seen its fair share of drama over the years. John Brown launched his ill-fated slave revolt here in 1859, and the town changed hands 8 times during the Civil War. The good news is, all that history is preserved in a giant open-air museum, so you can wander to your heart's content. Just don't ask too many questions. The park rangers get touchy if you bring up states' rights. When Jefferson said Harpers Ferry was worth a voyage across the Atlantic, he clearly hadn't met any Europeans. But he was onto something. The views here are breathtaking, from the confluence of the Potomac and Shenandoah rivers to the Blue Ridge Mountains rising up on all sides. The Appalachian Trail even runs right through town, in case you get the urge to drop everything and disappear into the woods. All told, Harpers Ferry may be tiny, but it punches well above its weight. Come for the history, stay for the moon pies, and escape with your sense of wonder intact. This little town in the mountains will surprise you. Next on my list is an artsy village south of Carbondale, Maanda, Illinois. Being a mere speck on the map with only 550 souls inhabiting its confines, Maanda prides itself on marching to the beat of its own drum. As an artist community in the loosest sense of the term, the good folks of Maanda are apparently too busy crafting dream catchers and painting pet rocks to bother with trivial matters like voting or general hygiene. During my brief sojourn there, I chanced upon a gaggle of free-spirited youths engaged in a hacky sack tournament of sorts in the town square, if you can call it that. The pungent aroma of patchouli oil and what I can only assume was cannabis hung heavy in the air. After witnessing what appeared to be some sort of interpretive dance involving a didgeridoo, I decided I had absorbed about as much culture as I could handle for one day and hastily beat a retreat. To be fair, the natural surroundings are quite stunning, set as it is amidst verdant hills and dales, and for thrill seekers, the annual Turkey Vulture Festival is not to be missed. Nothing quite like watching scavenger birds in their native habitat to make you appreciate the comforts of home. In all seriousness, Maanda seems an ideal haven for those seeking refuge from the rat race and harsh realities of the world. An oasis of quirkiness in a sea of normalcy where life moves at an unhurried pace and no one's in any particular rush to get anywhere. For a few hours at least, it's a pleasant diversion from the mundane, but for this wanderer, home is where the heart is. My heart, as it happens, resides where the plumbing works and Wi-Fi signals can be found. All right, listen up, fellow small-town explorers. It's time for the real nitty-gritty. Towns so small they barely register on Google Maps. First up, Buckle, Tennessee. With a robust population of 692, Buckle's claim to fame is that it's where the creeks meet. Riveting. What it lacks in excitement, it makes up for in mom-and-pop diners, where the waitress calls you hun and slings hash browns that could double as doorstops. Next, we head up north to Union, Connecticut. Union's 700 residents may be outnumbered by the ghosts said to haunt the local cemetery. The town is also home to Traveler Food and Books, a restaurant that gives out free books with your overpriced farm-to-table meal. After dining, work it off by hiking in the 40,000 acres of forest surrounding Union, or by sneaking off into the woods for some good old-fashioned summer lovin', or so I've heard. Finally, we end up in Wallace, Idaho, a town that narrowly avoided being named Uncle Sam in the 1880s, retaining a shred of dignity. Wallace has a whopping 750 residents, most of whom seem preoccupied with watching the trains go by while muttering about the good old days. For entertainment, check out the annual Moon Pie and RC Cola Festival, where time stands still and dietitians weep. While Buckle, Union, and Wallace may be short on amenities, they make up for it in charm and characters. For an authentic taste of small-town Americana, you can't beat these hidden gems. Just don't bring the kids, they'll break something. Well, there you have it, folks. My picks for the top 5 very small towns in America that you've probably never heard of. Sure, they may not have the glitz and glam of Los Angeles or the hustle and bustle of New York City, but in my book, these pint-sized burgs have heart and character that can't be beat. After visiting all kinds of off-the-path places on my great American road trips, I've come to appreciate the charm of tiny towns, where strangers wave and shopkeepers know your name. If you're looking to slow down and connect with some real Americana, put these hidden gems on your travel bucket list. Just don't go telling all your friends. We want to keep these magical micropolitan marvels our little secret.